Good afternoon, everyone. Hey guys, this is Bruce Marshall with Simpler Trading doing the nightly market update for Wednesday, April the 27th. And we had another pretty wild day today, pretty big swings. We ended up on the S&P. I've got the S&P up here, or the ES. We ended up from the open here. I mean, if you just looked at the number, we're up like what, 8 points, 8.75 or something like that. But that's not the whole story. We got big gap up, big slam down, big gap up, big slam down. Same kind of wild stuff that we've been seeing for weeks and months now. Um, but we still don't have any trend in the market. This is the biggest week of earnings this week. We had Google and Microsoft report yesterday. We got a lot of reporting going on right now as we speak, and we've got the biggies are going to be tomorrow with Amazon and Apple both reporting after the close tomorrow, and that might help to set the trend. Should help to set the trend, higher or lower in the overall market. And I'm using the S&P as the broad base of the market. And we'll see. We have a lot more economic news coming up in the next week or two, so we'll see. But I want to give you a look here at the markets, kind of what's been happening. This, of course, is today. That's the overnight session. Again, wild swings intraday, wild swings overnight. So let's back this out and look at it for just a minute. Before this week, this is Monday, and so going into last Friday, we're kind of up, and here's 4,500, and then we fail, and we fail, and we fail. This is a bouncing ball coming down the stairs, and how far does it go? And we don't know yet. Pretty good sized drop here from 4,500 down to 4,100, but let's even look out. Let's go a little further here. It's better to show this kind of on a little bit longer time frame. And check this out. So this is, you see that right there? I don't know if you can see a little white line. That's the first of the year, January 3rd. Open the year up with a bang, all-time high, 4,800, and then we've just been going into kind of the death spiral with these intermittent huge gaps, along the way. And if we look at this, I mean, from here to here, that's a 500 point move, 520 or something like that. And that's in a very short period of time. And then guess what? We got 500 points back down to the same spot we were. So crazy moves. Now, if you've been following along with the videos I've been doing, we've been trading this, and it's been good. I'm actually up about 15% so far this year, year to date, on the overall portfolio that I'm managing in the bias room. So it's good. You can trade this stuff, but it's sure not easy, and it's pretty nerve-wracking because you can't even get there's no trend, and when there's no trend, you can't get super bullish, you can't get super bearish, you can't put a lot of size on. I've been trading much smaller size here lately, just because for that reason, and it just makes it you have to really watch your risk and try to do trades that give you a lot better risk reward ratio than normal. And in a normal market, and let me show you what I mean, and you've probably, if you've seen any of the videos I've done, you've probably seen me say this before, but like this is just a trending market where we buy the dip, 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 and here it didn't work. It stopped working here momentarily, and then we continued up. But you can do this using average true ranges, or there's all kind of ways you can do it. Fib levels, Fibonacci levels, or voodoo lines, or whatever. Bollinger Bands, whatever. That's relatively easy to do, and you can do larger size over here, and you can risk more to make less because the trades tend to be more predictable. Here, this kind of stuff, very unpredictable, so you don't want to risk as much, if that makes sense. And again, it's working. This is a great market for trading, but it's certainly not a good market for investing. So let me show you one other thing here. If we go out further in time, and I'm just going to put this on a 10-year Actually, let me do a weekly. Excuse me, 10-year weekly chart here, and let me flip this over, and I'll show you something that's kind of got me a little nervous here. You see that? That's a 200-day moving average at 3,400. I think that is possible now. That's a long way down, I know, but with the Fed, if the Fed stays on the aggressive interest rate hike plan that they're saying, that is, lower prices could absolutely be, come into play. I don't know. I'm not predicting that, but just be aware of that. Right now, let me switch this back to my voodoo lines here, and I'll show you, the first level we have to be concerned about here, and it's actually, and I don't even have to change the time frame. It's right there. It's at 4,100, right? And if we break that, then the next level down here, that's 3663, and then the next one is that 3,400 I was telling you about right there, which is the 200-day moving average. So we're coming into a very critical point right here, right here, this red line right there. That's a voodoo fire line. That's the strongest line we've got. If we break through that, look out below, probably, perhaps. But at the same time, again, I'm not predicting that. I'm just saying we have to know, we have to know what we're facing, what we're up against, right? And if that holds, I think we have just as maybe not just as much, but we've got a good shot of a bounce, possibly even all the way back up to here, So who knows? This is going to be wild and crazy, just like it has been. I mean, that's all we've had since the first of the year. It's just wild and crazy stuff. This will continue, and it may continue down. It may come up and down. Whatever. We don't know. But the catalysts are going to be tomorrow after the close. We got Apple and we got Amazon reporting. Next week we have a Fed meeting with Powell speaking. That's always treacherous because they're going to talk about interest rates, and they've talked about willingness to go up to 75 basis point rate hike. That's pretty aggressive. I don't think they will, but they threw that out there on the table, and that would crush the market, could stop the housing market and all that kind of stuff. The dominoes start falling, then it starts getting ugly. Possible. After that, we got CPI the following week. We will know a little bit more. Is inflation continuing to tick up, or is it, slowing back down? Then we got the whole Ukraine thing, and and on and on and on, all these problems and issues that we've got to deal with. So, the same as I've been saying, trade small, trade light, use tight stops, and I'm using the S&P or the ES. You could do the same thing with the NASDAQ. The patterns are very, 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 very similar. Nothing has changed. As far as individual names, I haven't done any earnings trades this quarter. I usually am all over earnings trades, have not done any. Not really interested in looking at too many individual names because I'm trying to trade the tide and not the boats. If you can get the S&P right or the NASDAQ right or the rut, and it's easier to do that than trying to pick honey badger stocks in this kind of market, I think. Because if you get a great stock and it trades on the NASDAQ and the NASDAQ goes down, doesn't matter how great it is, the NASDAQ will pull it down, and vice versa. So, be careful with that. There's not really a lot else to do with this market, but trade it on shorter time frames and be light and nimble. And that's what I've been doing. It has been working. And like I said, that's about all we can do for now. And be sure to watch in the next week or two. Like I said, we've got earnings, Apple, Amazon. We've got next Wednesday we got Fed meeting with commentary. I forgot, next Friday we got payrolls. That'll be a big one. Then the following, I believe it's Wednesday, we got CPI. So a lot coming up. So get ready and be careful and use tight stops and limit your risk. So that's what I've got for us. Hope it makes sense. Hope that helps. And I will talk to you at the next update. And join us in the trading rooms if you want to see how we're trading. Join me in the bias room, or join us in the main trading room, and we will see you then. So thanks for the time. Take care.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me.